You know, we tend to think of wealth as this smooth, steady ramp, right? You earn a bit more, you save a bit more, and you slowly climb your way up. But the data shows that's actually completely wrong. In today's Explainer, we're uncovering the invisible mechanics of wealth building. We're going to look at exactly how compounding scales personal wealth so dramatically that two people with the exact same salary can end up in totally different financial universes. See, wealth actually moves in sudden, massive jumps, and it's all driven by a hidden mechanism that most of us literally never see.
Okay, let's dive straight into this mystery by comparing two coworkers, John and Carla. They sit right down the hall from each other. They're both 40 years old. John earns $88,000 a year, and Carla earns just slightly less at $84,000. Now, 15 years ago, both of them started in the exact same place, which was basically below zero. John had $19,000 in student loans, and Carla had about $22,000. They were two young people, both underwater, earning the exact same starting salary. By every visible measure, they're on an identical path.
But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Despite those identical starting lines, and despite John actually earning slightly more today, there is a massive $250,000 gap in their net worth. John's net worth has been stuck at around $240,000 for years. Pretty much every raise he got just went to a nicer car or a fancier apartment. But Carla, her net worth is accelerating past $490,000. They put in the same 15 years of work, so why the huge difference? Well, it's because Carla crossed a specific hidden line that John missed entirely. It's not that Carla is saving massive chunks of her paycheck anymore. It's that her money is now doing the saving for her. This gap brilliantly illustrates what we call the hidden 9-step staircase of wealth. It's basically the blueprint of your entire financial life. And notice something completely counterintuitive here. As you climb, the dollar gaps get much, much bigger. I mean, going from $500,000 to $1 million is a huge leap in pure cash. But thanks to compounding, the actual human effort required shrinks the higher you go. The problem is most people climb the first 4 steps and then permanently stall out right before step 5. So let's walk up the staircase together. Most people start right here on step 1. Getting from below zero up to zero is honestly the hardest dollar you will ever earn. It feels like running uphill in wet sand. And why is that? Because the exact same force that will later make you rich, compounding, is currently working against you. Take someone like Diana, for example. She's earning $62,000 a year, but holding $19,000 in credit card debt at a 24% interest rate. That is about $4,500 a year in interest alone. She's trapped by a number that just eats every single dollar she tries to save. You absolutely have to kill that high-interest debt first. Getting rid of it is a guaranteed 24% return on your money. Once you finally break even, you hit step 2, your first $10,000. Now, this isn't about some fancy investment strategy. This money acts as a shield. It buys your nervous system calm. A flat tire isn't a life-ruining crisis anymore. It's just an inconvenience. Then you hit step 3, $50,000. This is the stage that buys you options. You can finally afford to walk away from a bad boss or a toxic job. But this is also a very dangerous fork in the road. 50 grand feels safe, so people relax. This is exactly where most folks succumb to lifestyle inflation. Suddenly, you desperately need those heated car seats or that luxury apartment upgrade, and just like that, the climb stops. If you can manage to avoid that trap, you hit step 4, the $100,000 wall. At this stage, your manual savings are still doing all the heavy lifting. You are the engine. As the legendary investor Charlie Munger famously and bluntly pointed out, scraping together that first $100,000 is a total nightmare. But you just have to do it. Get your hands on it however you can. It feels like it takes forever because, well, it does. But it is the absolutely crucial launchpad you have to cross before the machine can take over. You cannot quit here, because just around the corner is the single most important milestone of your life. Enter step 5. It usually happens around the $250,000 mark. This is the crossover. There's no clean, round number for it, and absolutely nobody is going to throw a party for you when you hit it. But it is the most important moment in your entire financial journey. This is the exact moment your invested money starts earning more than you can manually save in a year. The math quietly flips. You are no longer the main engine of your wealth. Your money is. Let's break down exactly how this math works. Say you're saving $12,000 a year. That's a really solid $1,000 a month. But let's say your portfolio is sitting at $200,000 and it grows at an average 8% return. That growth equals $16,000 a year. Your money just generated 16 grand, officially out-earning your own manual effort. This is exactly why Carla is free and John is stuck. Carla crossed this line 3 years ago. Her money now adds nearly $40,000 a year all by itself, while John is still out there pushing his boulder up the hill entirely by hand. Let's see how this builds over time, because once you cross step 5, your wealth violently accelerates. Think about the sheer manual effort of that first $100,000. For most people, strictly through disciplined saving and those early market returns, scraping together that first 100 grand takes about 7 to 8 long, hard years. But look at what happens next. Because your money becomes this quiet second employee that never sleeps and never asks for a raise, your second $100,000 takes only about 4 years. The time it takes is cut entirely in half, and that's even if you don't change a single thing about your salary. And it just keeps getting faster. Your third $100,000 takes barely 3 years. This accelerating speed is the entire reason Step 5 matters so much. You are no longer pushing that boulder uphill. It has crested the peak and is rolling downhill, gathering its own speed. You let your income rise over the years, sure, but you kept your lifestyle relatively flat, and now compounding is doing all of the heavy lifting. By the time you reach Step 6, which is $500,000, the engine is absolutely roaring. This next milestone should literally stop you cold. If you hit $500,000 and you completely stop contributing, like you don't add another single cent to your investments, that money, left alone at an 8% return, grows to about $2.3 million over 20 years through pure compounding. Work slowly becomes optional here. You gain incredible leverage over your own life, just knowing you could walk away tomorrow if you had to. So the crucial takeaway here is that steps 7 through 9 aren't about buying a private jet or flaunting luxury on Instagram. They're about ultimate freedom. At step 7, $1 million, the 4% rule can give you $40,000 a year for life. This is coast fire. The hardcore savings phase is officially over. By step 8, at $2.5 million, your portfolio can replace a $100,000 household income entirely. You've permanently bought back your time. And step 9, $5 million and beyond, that's simply wealth stewardship, deciding what this money is actually for, because it's almost certainly going to outlive you. And hey, if you're sitting there thinking you need some massive 6-figure Wall Street salary to achieve all this, consider this one fact. Just to prove that this is about time and compounding and not just income, a 25-year-old with just $67,000 invested can reach the $1 million mark by age 65 without ever adding another cent. Just $67,000 left completely alone quietly becomes $1 million over time. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is the raw, undeniable math of how compounding scales personal wealth. You really don't need to be rich to change your life. You just need to find your own line. And you can actually calculate your personal crossover number right now. Take whatever you save in a given year, let's say it's $12,000, and divide it by an expected market return like 8% or 0.08. That gives you $150,000. The very day your portfolio hits $150,000, your money out-earns your savings. Every single person has a unique crossover number based on their savings rate. And crazy enough, almost nobody ever bothers to calculate it. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to stop obsessing over those big, flashy, million-dollar milestones that society is always telling us to chase. Real wealth is built quietly. So ask yourself honestly, are you still pushing the boulder uphill by hand every single day, or have you finally built the machine that will eventually push it for you? Calculate your crossover number today and find out.